Winter, a season of silence, of snow-covered landscapes. But sometimes the cold hides something much darker. Some places are not meant to be disturbed, and some whispers should never be answered. They thought it would be a peaceful trip. 5 friends, a remote cabin deep in the forest, and nothing but snow for miles. No cell service, no neighbours, just a crackling fireplace and the promise of isolation. But isolation can be dangerous. The first sign of trouble came at dusk. Fresh snow covered the ground, untouched, pure. But as night fell, they noticed them. Footprints. Large, deep imprints circling the cabin. Too large for a person, too deformed for an animal. Then they heard the first knock. At first, they convinced themselves it was the wind. Whispers carried through the trees, moving through the cracks in the wooden walls. Then the whispers grew clearer. They weren't just noises. The voices were low, broken, like something trying how to speak. The whispers came from inside the walls, beneath the floorboards, from the attic they had never opened. Mark was the first to see it. He'd been staring out the window, his breath fogging the glass when he froze. A figure stood at the tree line, tall, still, watching. Its body was blurred by the falling snow, but its eyes were wrong. Hollow, glowing faintly in the darkness, locked onto the cabin. Then, as if knowing it had been seen, it tilted its head and smiled. Then came the sound, a slow, deliberate scraping against the wooden walls. Not like claws, no, this was worse, like nails, long and sharp, dragging across the cabin, circling them. Scrape, scrape, scrape. It was testing the walls, feeling them, searching for a way inside. They huddled together, whispering frantically. Should they run? Should they hide? And then knock, 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 from the front door, from the windows, from the attic. By morning, Sarah was gone. The cabin door stood wide open, snow creeping inside. Her coat still hung on the wall. Her boots sat by the fireplace. There were no footprints leading away. The others searched frantically, calling her name, their voices swallowed by the endless white. But the only thing they found was her phone, half buried in the snow. The screen was cracked. The last message she typed but never sent, "It's already inside." Panic set in. They tried to leave. They ran through the snow, past the trees, following the footprints they had made when they first arrived. But no matter how far they went, they always ended up back at the cabin. The door stood open, welcoming. The fire still burned inside, but something was wrong. Their shadows weren't their own anymore. That night, the cabin doors slammed shut. The fire went out. The laughter began, low, broken, mocking. It came from inside the walls, from the ceiling, from beneath the floorboards. The friends clung to each other, whispering prayers that fell on deaf ears. Then, one by one, the lights flickered, and they were taken. No screams, no struggle, just silence. By dawn, the cabin was empty, as if no one had ever been there at all. Years later, the cabin still stands, untouched by time. The firewood remains stacked by the door, the curtains unmoved. But those who pass by say they can still hear the whispers. Some swear they see figures standing at the windows, and others never come back at all. Be careful where you go in the winter, because some places never let you leave.